1972 BMW 2002. The pedals are hinged on the bottom, and it has brake failure, and it has a fan, and it has brake failure. You minute? Recaro. These don't belong here. Don't worry, I will. We get it. You rally.
This is a car with automatic transmission, but the owner dropped it and put a 5-speed in. So drive it like you swapped it.
Produced from 1966 to 1977, the 2002 is the car that helped BMW venture out into the sports sedan market. The company had only ever done modest import numbers in North America, so they set out to change their fortunes in the mid-1960s once American outlets began praising the hell out of the two-door 1602 models. So BMW rushed to create a new sports sedan along the same lines, but with improved performance, since the market they were aiming for was an older, more performance-focused crowd. The 1600 Ti fit the bill, but their method of carburation, or the carburetor models they had on there, the twin-carb models, wouldn't meet federal exhaust emissions regulations at the time. So BMW sales director Paul Hanneman came up with the solution after realizing that the 2-liter engine in the 2000 coupe would meet those regulations. So he moved to have a 2-door, 2-liter version of the 2000 produced, and that's how we ended up with the BMW 2002. In its own era, it was popular, but it wasn't until decades after its 9-year production cycle ended that it really developed a cult following. The 2002 became a cult car largely because it was fun, reliable, and relatively cheap when compared to other classic cars of its era. It also remained mostly unchanged throughout its 9-year run, save for tiny cosmetic changes like rectangular taillights, larger bumpers, and a fake wood grain instrument cluster from 1974 to 1976. So it had a very timeless look, and that's a feel not every car can achieve without extensive restoration. You know, like modern retro stuff? It doesn't work. You can't make a 2002. This thing is ruthlessly proportional. In a lot of ways, this is a car guy's car, because it has older school credibility. I mean, this goes way beyond E30s. This thing is so legit because it's an old car that can take modern customization. For instance, the owner Josh swapped in seats for a Mercedes-AMG alongside Recaro seats put in as his part of participation with Rally North America. We get it, you rally! As an added bonus, the seats themselves have lower lumbar support thanks to an air pump system. Now, the original 2002 didn't have these seats, so don't get excited. Now, this car was originally an automatic, but he put in a 5-speed manual and made it look easy and made it look like it belongs there. So this is one of these swaps that gives a bad name to the guy posting on forums, "How hard is it to swap in a manual?" You can do it if you really, really want to. Now, this guy really, really wanted to, so the pain and anguish was worth it to him. He used a transmission from a BMW E21. On the dyno, it makes 84 horsepower at the wheels. You know, that's not too bad. Now, it has a crotch rocket muffler because, you know, that's what he had. And it does make that excitedly angry, kind of almost like a horny, angry rumble. No, rumble's the wrong word. Spitty growl. Now, that's the wrong word, too. Anyway, if you put an old toy car in a, here's my toy car, here's my real car. If you put an old toy in a time capsule and then dig it up 30 years later, odds are stuff about it isn't going to work. And that's the case with this car. But that's the thrill of it. The BMW 2002 is Yoda to the E30's Luke Skywalker. Think of a BMW 2002 as the hard-top Miata you always wanted. It's about the same size as a Miata. It's inline-4, it's rear-wheel drive, and you get 2 teeny-weeny seats in the back, and you're just as low to the ground. Out of the box, a Miata will drive better because, okay, let's be fair, a Miata is late 80s and early 90s tech, and a BMW 2002 is mid-60s to early 70s. But it's almost as good a decade earlier. I mean, this 2002 has modern suspension, and it feels like an AE86. It's chuckable and malleable. I mean, I am a sucky driver. I'm horrible at it, and this makes me feel confident. The confidence to make, mistakes. delicious, expensive mistakes. Everything buzzes on the inside like a hand-hammered piccolo snare, but it doesn't feel like it's about to fall apart like a 1970s MGB. Josh himself said it best. I've never driven a car I felt this connected to that can still scare me sometimes. It's a total joy box. It's the most basic sense of the phrase. It's a car that's meant to be driven and really, really driven. Not just panded around at car shows or endlessly tinkered with in a home garage. No, this car is meant for mountains and turns. It's meant for back roads of every northeastern country with their long, desolate strips of roadway between civilizations. And this is the exact kind of car you'd register for something like Rally North America. A charity event that takes the form of a gigantic interstate scavenger hunt. Think wacky races, but for something that matters. The catch, of course, is that there's a buy-in for over $400, but hey, it's tax deductible, so there are certainly worse things you can do with your money. And enjoying the scenery and the long stretches of open America at the wheel of a 2002, well, there are worse things you could be doing with your time, too.
City of cars, are you lining up for me? Call me bizarre, I like things I can't foresee. Is this a BMW 2002 or just a dream? I pour my hopes in